Let's see how your example compares. Here's some examples of good secondary sources. A children's book, which is a great way to understand the story of your topic. History.com, which always includes the causes, description, and effects. A documentary or video clip on a subject. An encyclopedia article, or a website. So these are all things we can use to really understand that story right away. Now, let's do some secondary source research tips. First off, what are the requirements for secondary source? Each person in your group, or as an individual, needs a minimum of 3 quality secondary sources for a 9. So 3 different sources that you're using and taking notes on. First tip, focus on the required content and basics first. What came before and why did it happen? What are the causes or what I need to know to explain my topic? Second, you're going to look at a description of the heart of what happened. Who, what, how, when, where, and how. But remember, you're describing the topic and what happened, not just listing a series of these things. It needs to be in story form, so give yourself enough details to do that. And finally, you're going to look at the effects. What was the impact? How did things change because of your topic, and what's different? In other words, what's the ending of your story with your topic? It's going to be important to find all 3 of these areas, and if you're having any difficulties in understanding what they are, or if you need help, talk to your history teacher. Tip 2. You want to use simple, trusted websites at first. You don't want to do random Google searches because those can lead you to a lot of the same information, and sometimes they're missing causes or effects many times. They might do the description, but you might miss the others. Some good places to go for places that usually have the story is History.com, Duxter, and Britannica. And don't forget that in the module you'll see there is a section for recommended secondary sources that are some trusted websites, so feel free to look at those and peruse. Tip 3. Include trusted documentaries or film clips if desired. And again, History.com is a great place for video clips that are always accurate, or if you find one on YouTube by History.com, those are good. I also like PBS.org, American Experience. This has other documentaries that are great. And when you're searching YouTube, remember to search documentary, but avoid student products. If you have any questions about whether or not a documentary is trusted, talk to your history teacher, but we have put those links, again, on the recommended secondary sources list on Canvas to help make it a bit easier for you. Tip 4. Know Wikipedia. Well, we all know that Wikipedia can be a useful source. We actually want to use Wikipedia just for its source list because people can change it and it's not always verifiable. So this cannot count as one of your sources. You can, however, look at some of the list of sources at the bottom to help you if you want to find other ones. Tip 5. Use keywords. After you've gotten some basic information from 1 or 2 sources, you might decide that you need more on effects and you want to look up something more specific. Use keywords from required areas like the causes, description, and effects to find different information. For example, if I'm looking at the March on Washington, I might need to know about segregation and Jim Crow laws. I might need to know about the Montgomery bus boycott or Martin Luther King starting the movement there, or the Children's March, which was done against segregation, which led to the Civil Rights Act. When we get to the description, I might want to know about Martin Luther King Jr. and the organization of the march. When we get to effects, I might want to know about President Kennedy's response, the Civil Rights Act, the signing of the Civil Rights Act, and how President Johnson got it passed. Remember, the goal for each of the next days is to find and take notes on one new secondary source each day this week, so that by next Tuesday you have your minimum of 3 for a 9